Why is my mic not picking up? Okay, take two. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. I'm LB Hack'em, and welcome to our Sunday Playthings of the Gods game. Everything is going wrong. We can't see Tanya.
Yeah, we lost Tanya.
We lost Tanya. She might have gotten a phone call.
It
That's
was
okay.
Tuna.
A tuna.
She walked by and then everything went dark, and I call her a demon, and I think we have proof now. Okay.
We're back with our level 16 game, Playthings of the Gods. We're going to go around and have everybody introduce themselves and who they're playing tonight. It's a bit of a challenge tonight because we're missing someone, so let's see if we can keep the order. But we're going to start off, as always, with the wonderful Tanya. Please take it away.
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I'm petting a cat right now. I have a show on September 21st at Dormouth Theater. I'll tell you more about that later tonight, though. I am Moxie, Tiefling Bard.
And I'm Bal. You find me the Kraken's Crown, mostly over on GGK though. Game nights playing all sorts of stuff over there. Tonight I'm gonna be playing Arrow, who is a barbarian druid.
I go next now. Hi, I'm Rachel. Rachel is with Rachel is with the Do the Middle 7S. I had to unmute. I muted myself on Zoom and then I unmuted my microphone because I thought it was muted and it wasn't. I was just being quiet. Hi, I'm here on the internet and I'm on GGK a couple times a week. And tonight I'm playing Talon, the Death Cleric / Gloomstrucker Ranger.
And that leaves me. Hello, I'm Alex, OMG, it's some guy on the internets. Just here on Sundays at the moment, where I am playing Kolkis, our Minotaur Oath of the Ancients Paladin.
And I'm LB Hack'em. I'm going to be your dungeon mistress for this evening. Before we get back into things, we need to recap what happened so long ago the last time we played. Please, take us off, Rach.
Previously on Playthings of the Gods, they made it to Talon's hometown, Taranthar, accompanied by a village elder and several guards after being informed that she was going to have to face trial for her crimes from 16 years ago. They walked through the Lothlorien-esque village where they were all ushered into a grand library chamber where the hearing would take place. They heard from the witnesses, all of whom Talon was genuinely surprised to see alive after her less than peaceful exit when the Blood Queen possessed her to eliminate the guards that pursued her. Her father took the stand, disdainfully recounting the moments leading up to her departure. Her found family spoke of how much she'd changed since they'd known her, and how she'd used her power to protect people. And Talon spoke, testifying about being overtaken by the Blood Queen, that she'd heard her voice for as long as she could remember, that her god had been more of a guardian to her than her father had ever been, and just what it looked like, there was no way this was ever going to be an unbiased trial, much to Arrow's lawyer learn in dismay. The Blood Queen herself made an appearance. She took responsibility for Talon's alleged crimes and spoke directly to Talon's father, issuing a warning to the haughty elf. Disrespect and condemn her champion, and she'd be waiting for him when his long life came to an end. After a short deliberation, Talon was found not guilty, and while they would have an escort for the time that they remained here, they could remain. They set out to Grandfather Tree, Talon's little brother Tanith in tow. The Arakor showed them the recent activity near the place that was slowly poisoning him, knowing that they were sent to help and bless them in return. When we last left our adventurers, some elven scouts had been sent out ahead, and they were going to take down some nasty cultists and save an entire woodland realm. But not before Talon showed her friends her childhood home, and she and her father had their first conversation since the night she almost killed him.
Yeah, that's going to happen right now, so get ready for that. Thank you very much for that recap. We're ready to get into things. You left Grandfather Tree, and you guys are making your way back. I think that your little brother is not going to join you for this conversation, as he knows your father. And you guys are going to make your way to your old house. Do you have any... do you want to describe where you grew up? This home in the trees?
Again, like I said in the recap, like the whole town is very Lothlorien-esque. You know, there's like winding staircases up, like large trees, branches being used to support. Everything's kind of like not all of the houses are up off the ground, but some of them are, and Talon's is. And she used to like climb out her bedroom window onto the branches and sneak out that way into the woods, where she felt more welcome. So you walk up to this like large tree. There's a staircase that kind of like spirals up. And it's nothing grand, nothing really besides like the big library here is. It's just like a small cottage that's basically just supported by the tree and a few long like natural looking branches underneath to support the weight of like the floor and everything. Just looks like as you're walking up, it's just like looks like a 1-story, maybe, 2 to 3 bedroom little like cottage up there. Nothing crazy. And lots of like natural foliage and everything around the outside of it, like little twinkling magical lights and things outside of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys make your way up the winding staircase to the front door. The lights are on inside. It does look warm from the outside and welcoming, though to Talon it is a reminder of the times you didn't like to come home when everyone was there and, well, everyone, when your dad was there. But the door is closed and it does smell like there is some sort of herbal tea brewing on the other side.
She uses her bow to knock on the door.
There's a sharp rap as you do. And sorry, there's in our other game, seeing Alhena going up the stairs, centaurs going upstairs, just reminded me of our game with Jordan.
Centaurs upstairs. I don't know why that sent Lex into a spiral every time.
The horror!
Anything that walks on 4 legs going up or downstairs. Just...
We love you, Lex. Yeah, there's a...
you, buddy.
You don't really hear anything on the other side, but the door does open and you see the very stern face, the purple eyes of your father standing on the other side. It's hard to read his very stern expression, but he does look to you and see the rest of the group and raise his brows as if he's wondering why you're there.
We should probably talk.
Come in. He moves away from the door. It's a very, from the outside looks very small, but whether it's magic or just the way this house is built, it does seem very roomy. It's a round structure, so there's a wall in the back that curves around, and you can see this is a very nice sitting area. There is a desk to one side, and on the other side there is a doorway to what looks to be the kitchen, and beyond that, on the side with the desk, there are other rooms and such. There's plenty of places for everyone to sit. Kulkus, it's a little uncomfortable because the chairs are like more dainty, made for elven bottoms, not minotaur bottoms, but you are welcome to sit
elven
if you'd
butt,
like.
not minotaur butt.
And your father looks to the rest of you and says, "Would anyone care for some tea?" Alex.
I think it's just a lot of looking at talent. I mean, like, what's the vibe here?
Yeah, I guess taking our cue from Talon of like, if she indicates it's okay for us to accept tea, like out of politeness, we'll take a cup so that it's not as awkward.
Sure.
Yeah, he will move out of the room. You guys are welcome to take any seats that you like, as he puts a few cups together and makes his way back with a large tray that he then serves everybody a cup of tea and sits in the larger chair in the room that seems to be very well made and almost formed to his body. If you're alive this long, you have comfy furniture and the best. So there are stacks of books around him. Shelves of books cover the walls, especially the back wall that is part of the tree. And you can see that as you take a closer look, the parts of the bookcase that are actually part of the tree are sections that have the break in the bark. So he hasn't disturbed the natural way the tree is grown at all. But there are spots that books are stacked and placed in there, and like little wedges have been put in to make shelves in this grand and wonderful tree. And He sits and takes a long sip of his tea and motions for you.
Talon sits in the chair, but she like flips it around, so she's like leaning on like the back portion of the chair, and like looks like, to her father it probably looks like she actually is relaxed. To her friends, they know that this is not actually her relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
She's very like almost like ready to strike if
Mm-hmm.
like something was to pop off, but she's kind of like trying to exude like this air of like confidence that her dad has never seen from her before, because again, the last time she was here, she was a child, she was like under
Mm-hmm.
his thumb, she walked on eggshells 24/7 around him, and it's been 16 years, and she's trying to, she's like hyping herself up in her head, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the little girl you bullied anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so she sits down in the back of the chair, and she kind of like, she doesn't take a sip from the cup, she just like sets it down like on like a little like side table like next to her, and she just looks at him dead in the eyes and is like, we're going to talk about Tanith.
Can you sit properly in my chair if you were going to speak to me with such authority?
No, I'm not a child, father.
But you are a guest in my home. Since you have left, it is no longer your home, is that correct?
That is correct. I have my own home.
That does not break from the point that I'm putting forward.
She kind of just like cracks her knuckles, stands up, spins the chair in like a very like almost too like quick reflex for him to
Mhm.
like see, and just like lowers herself down in it and like kind of like sits back again about Tanith.
What would you like to speak to me about my son?
Your son, my brother, is under the impression that you don't want me involved in his life.
That is a correct assessment. You
That'll
would not
stop.
be a... I'm sorry?
That'll stop.
And to what do you feel you can offer my child?
She kind of like looks around at her friends. A lot more diversity than you can.
And what will that benefit him?
He's inquisitive and smart. And I'm sure that you are just doing what you think is best, but keeping him here and sheltering him from what you think are all the terrible things in the world is also keeping him from learning and knowing all the beautiful things in the world outside of here.
He is a child. When he comes of age, he can travel as he likes. We don't keep anybody here out of their own free will.
You know as well as I do that when someone spends their entire childhood here, never stepping outside, or never going any further than grandfather tree, that they don't tend to leave. And I would like to afford him the opportunity to, at least for a couple weeks a year, see more than that.
And when he comes of age, he can do that.
Father, you have no magic.
No, I do not. But I
And
have knowledge.
We all do. And for a child that is so I only got to spend a short time with him, and I saw how naturally gifted he is already. If you keep him here for 100 years without ever getting to tap into that, you're holding him back.
There are plenty of magic scholars here who can teach him the ways of magic. I thought you...
All of the ways of magic?
If he is to learn, he will be a wizard. I do not intend him to let him make a pact with some fae or demon. He does not have innate abilities like a sorcerer. What do you expect him to be?
Respectfully, sir, not all of us are affiliated with those divine beings you have so crassly labeled demons. I am a
No.
follower of Lyra. Would you accuse her of being such a creature?
No. But some of you are followers of the god of death,
Death
which
is a
I would
part of
not have
life.
for my child.
Well, you have it for one of your children, whether you like it or not.
Yes, well, when he is trained, he can go out into the world. He is not your child, he is mine.
He's still my blood. Look, what I'm proposing is if we cure the sickness from grandfather tree and I at least make it through the next part of our task, which is not going to be easy. If we make it through alive, I'm just proposing you give him the option to spend a couple weeks, a year with me and my fiance, motions to Elhana, who is a druid, well versed in nature magic, and around my friends who all have their own gifts. And not too far away, our home is outside of Daggerford. And just let him see things besides just here.
Again, I don't think you understand, and I think you've forgotten. He is a child. He is not even 50 years old. If you wish to see him, you can come here and see him. If after 50 years he has grown and you have shown that you are worthy of taking him and responsible enough to take him, then perhaps we can rediscuss.
What are you worried about happening to him?
The world is a dangerous place, as you know, and it has only gotten more dangerous since you have left. We're not naive to the things that are happening out there. We know of the attack on Waterdeep, and the mountain that has been taken so close to our home. Well, you have your protection of your gods. I understand that. I'm not saying that you are not powerful, but he is a child. And he kind of motions to the rest of you. For the rest of you, he would be an infant. He might be 12 years old, 10 years old. I forgot how old he was. He didn't. I did.
He knows the age of his son.
Yeah. But in our world, he is not old enough to not only travel on his own or travel with a group. You have many things that you have to do, yes?
I mean, between now and the alleged end of the world, yes. I'm not
When you
saying
were-
he comes with us now.
Obviously not.
I would never bring him in that kind of a situation. I'm just saying, I think it would be good for him, for all of you, to get out of these woods every now and then.
I appreciate your sentiment. But my word stands in this household. I understand that your god can threaten me all they want, but until I am dead, he will remain under my charge. You are welcome to come visit him and speak to him as much as you want. But leaving this grove will not happen for at least another 50 years.
Fine. So he can speak to me freely.
As long as you remain within the grove. But if I do find that you are turning him against me, those
Look,
privileges
we
will be revoked.
don't have to like each other. We don't even have to love each other. But I think, regardless of what you believe, we and I would be good for him.
Then prove it. Now, you're heading to the Lost Peaks, yes?
Yes, they sent out a scouting party ahead, and we're to meet them in a few hours.
Have you been there before?
Not for 11 or 12 years.
Then I should give you warning. The people who used to live there, 1,000 years ago or so, the dwarves, it was a fortress. And then a great disease went through their civilization. And they all died. They were found next to their homes, in the forge. It was sudden. I do not know what lingers. I have been there as of the last 50 years, but be careful. And if you seek the pool, do you know of the pool?
No.
There is a pool. It is called the Fountain of Memory. It's a very powerful place that can show the past. Anyone who looks into the waters can see what they wish. I've been there many times. Do not venture into the waters. They can take you anywhere in time, which I would not recommend. Now, is that all?
Yep, I think we're good. As long as you and I have come to a tentative understanding.
Yes.
Great. Good to see you, Father. And she gets up and walks out. She's holding the door open for her friends.
The tea is very good, by the way. It is,
Yep.
elven tea and
It's where she gets her really good taste in tea.
Finishes the cup of tea, sets it down nicely. Thank you for the tea, and then leaves.
Moxie's been afraid to talk this whole time.
The door
Good.
shuts and Talon starts like really quietly giggling.
Cool.
Hold on, let's get downstairs. Just, like, goes downstairs, like leads everybody down there. It's just like, so I went in being like, there's no way that if I just asked to be able to talk to my little brother, that he's gonna let me talk to my little brother. So I went sky high and got visiting rights and talk to him whenever I want. So just kind of like cracks her knuckles.
You've done good.
Arrow, to answer your question, it was literally Talon. When she killed his wife died in childbirth.
But it sounds like this has been a problem since. Oh wait, hold on. He's blaming her Talon for her mom dying in childbirth. Is that
Yes.
the story? Okay,
Yes.
who hurt him? From that he was at
It
that point,
was
because
the
that was a
love of his-
pre-existing
yeah,
problem if he's
yeah.
blaming her. He was already a dick before then.
She was
don't
the
just
only person he ever loved.
no, he was a dick
And-
before then. He
Yeah,
was a dick
probably.
to her.
Look,
He was a
He
dick.
was a
Rachel
dick
wrote the
to
character.
everyone.
I did,
That's
I
what
did,
she
yeah.
said.
No, the way it was written was like that. Like he was always kind of a dick. Her mom was like the only person that like he ever
Yeah, think
cared
Dracula.
about.
Think Dracula.
You know what I mean? And
From Castlevania.
And she took the only person that he had ever cared about, and instead of
Mm-hmm.
that was
Did-
the way he
Dealing
looked at
with
it.
it.
Talon
Yeah.
Because
stab
he didn't
her
really
on the
care
way
about.
out? Like what?
I
happened?
know.
Like
Look.
No. Yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't
and
have
again,
to make
all this
logical
in
sense.
No.
character.
It's
Arrow
just-
asking
yeah.
who hurt him. Like what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
He's a flawed individual, but at the end of the day, I got what I wanted, which was he won't be able to tell me that I can't show up and hang out with my little brother now.
The good news is it's a win-win because either we succeed, we save the world, and you prove that you're better, whatever, or we fail and the big fancy tree dies anyway, and they've got to leave because big fancy tree's dead. So,
Potato.
so
Right?
either
No
way,
big
he's
deal.
leaving and seeing new things. So
I just look. That feels like a win, even though I had to sit in that house again. And now you all know why, at least at the beginning of our adventures, I was a little reserved about caring about people.
And to be fair, Talon, that was probably the nicest your dad has ever been to you, because he was threatened by your god like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, it's just, she needed to take care of that while that fear was still lingering and vibrating in his bones, Should just stand there. It just stand in his living room with the image of Tifa standing behind her still in his mind. So, well, that's taken care of. I'd love to see Tanith again before we leave, but maybe I'll just shoot him a message saying that we're heading out soon, and that we're allowed to talk whenever we want. It's just looking around to see if he's lurking anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to the main square, he's probably sitting and reading a book on one of the fountains that's out there.
Chill before they head out, and I'm sure they'll find a place to pack stuff up, and I'm sure they can buy or get some random supplies and things if everybody wants to do a little shopping and stuff. There's a few little artisan shops and things around, people making fun things. But she'll just go and sit next to him. So I talked to Father.
You did?
I did. And while I haven't convinced him to let you come stay with Elhena and I yet for a couple weeks, I can come see you as often as I want, and we can talk whenever you want.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's impressive. I've never heard Dad change his mind before.
Well, here's the trick with Dad. And I'm telling you this, you can't use it all the time.
Okay.
You have to ask for way more than you're willing to settle for. So if you
Okay.
want 1 cookie, you ask for 10 cookies. And his
He'll
brain
never
is
give me 10 cookies.
Exactly. He'll never give you 10 cookies, but he'll settle for 1 or 2.
Whoa. Is that manipulation?
It's negotiation.
Negotiation. Okay. I know there are books on negotiation here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, are you leaving?
Yeah, we're gonna head out soon. We've got to go take care of the sickness that's affecting Grandfather Tree.
Okay. Well, I thought you might like this. And he pulls out from his stack of books. It's like a children's book. I mean, he's still quite young. But it is a story about a centaur. And it's kind of like about it's a children's book, so it's like centaurs go hunt, centaurs live in houses like this, centaurs, like it's very
Centaurs go
very
upstairs.
It's like
Yeah.
the Child's Guide to Ravnica.
Yes,
essentially.
yeah, basically, yes. And then he like pulls out a piece of paper and he hands it to you, and it's again very crudely drawn, but it is a picture of Root that he has drawn with charcoal. Just the outline, the legs are going every way and the wings are up really high, and he's like, I just thought maybe if you had a picture of him you'd feel better.
That's very sweet. Thank you. I'm gonna, as soon as I get home, I'm gonna frame it and hang it up, and I'll take very good care of it until then.
Okay.
Kind of has like, just like he's gonna like roll it up in star maps, like with Alhena's like like different star maps that she's like carrying and stuff for her. It's very cute, and she'll, well, Ruth's gonna keep an eye on you, and I can always see through his eyes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Don't watch me go to the bathroom.
I would never.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
And I don't know about your magic, but I can send a message to you whenever I want from as far away as taps the book, as far away as Ravnica.
Whoa.
That's where I end up.
Okay, I can't do that.
Nope.
I can only do it if I see you.
Mm-hmm. So I will every couple days if I get busy, but every day if I'm not busy, I'll send you a
Okay.
message.
Okay. Can I say
And you
something
can send one back. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Before you go, and he like turns to Calcus and he says, I don't know if this is rude or not, but can I ride on your shoulders for a bit? I just want to see how tall you are.
Of course. And we'll similar to how he handles his own daughter, we'll just like pick him up, do like a swing around, and then like settle him up on the shoulders.
He's like, whoa! And he like grabs your horns as handles. He's not moving you. He has no strength to move your head, but he's kind of like, you can feel him like kind of get up a little bit and like look around. And he's like, wow, you can see the house from here.
I know he's really tall, isn't he? Looking up.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be as tall as you one day.
Maybe. It's possible.
You never know.
The horns definitely add on some of the height.
Yeah. They're not very sharp. This one's shorter than the other one. Is that normal? Sorry, was that rude?
No, it's not rude. There is some natural variance between the horns, though that one did have some of a very tiny amount taken from it. You are a very perceptive young man to be able to notice that difference.
Thank you. Okay, I'm kind of high up now. I want to get down.
Okay, and we'll like crouch down and make it easier for him to dismount, and also, help him if needed.
Yeah, he kind of stumbles a little bit, but you're able to catch him. And he grabs his books and he kind of like looks at the rest of you and he's like, I'm gonna read all about you guys someday. I mean, like the kind of people you are.
Oh, I bet. Tanith, has the circus ever been here since you've been alive?
I don't know what that is.
Looks at Moxie.
Noted. All right. I'm going to have to put this down on the list. Come visit here.
Untapped market.
You get no business.
You go look up books on what a circus is and get excited because maybe the next time I come visit, Moxie has a circus and maybe we'll bring it with us.
Okay, he doesn't really know how to feel about this. He's like,
He doesn't know
you
what
are
it is
making
yet,
it
but
sound
he's-
exciting, so he's like, okay, but he doesn't really know.
Yeah, he's gonna get so excited later. And
Yeah.
tomorrow I'll send you a message and you can tell me what you've learned about the circus.
Okay, okay. And you see him like grab his books and he like kind of grabs some papers. He's like, I'm gonna go look at it right now.
All right, we're gonna head out. You be careful and be good. Ish.
Okay. I'll be good. And like he stops and like turns to leave and then he turns back and he hugs your legs. And then
She
he
gives
turns
him a little, like a hug back, but his little.
and then He lets go and he runs off, and there's some papers flying behind him.
Well, I have one living family member that doesn't hate me.
That's a
Pretty good.
plus.
He thinks you guys are the coolest thing ever. So good thing for me, I've got cool friends because this would have been a lot harder without
Yeah.
you guys.
I think that brings the count of family who enjoy you up to 5.
Oh.
I don't know, your daughter likes her a lot too.
Yeah, I was gonna say immediate family and extended family. We're
Mhm.
we're looking good at this point for
Mhm.
talent.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's probably time for us to pack up what we need and tell the ship. Do we want them to just wait here while we trek out? Do we want them to get us closer? Well, what's the vibe, fam?
How far are we looking?
To get to the mountain, it's probably about like a full day's march, like by land, especially with how thick the forest is. You could fly there in like 3 hours if you go over the trees, basically, especially with the ship you have.
I guess it's just whether we're worried about them seeing us coming, but I mean, they know we're going to be showing up at some point, so
I mean, we can have the ship take us to the rendezvous point
yeah,
and then have it come back here to wait.
I'm good with that.
That way they're not in
Sounds
harm's
good.
way and maybe they'll know that we're coming, but they won't know exactly where, how, or when.
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah,
also
'cause
know
it's-
that the scouting party's on foot, so they're gonna.
Mhm.
If you fly
Yeah.
there, you'll get there before them. Because
Yep.
they left like an hour ago, probably, with getting everybody and stuff. They said rendezvous in about 12 hours. So if you guys
Mhm.
if you want to take a long rest and then fly over, but probably be about the time.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's long
rest.
rest on the ship.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I had enough of hometowns.
Yeah. You said goodbye to who?
Hometowns.
You say goodbye to those you wish and walk out. The word has gotten around about what happened, so people are giving you a bit of a wide berth, more than they were before. Not out of fear, mostly out of respect. There's a little bit of fear still there. But yeah, you can make your way back to the ship, which is on the outskirts. And Promise lowers the, well, it's kind of parked, so he lowers the rope ladder off the side, and you guys can hop up. You see Mishmar is kind of getting antsy. And he says to you guys, he says, I feel like there's some sort of change on the wind that's been happening. Something feels wrong.
Is that did you have any idea what might be causing it?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard anything recently, but I might need to take my leave. See what I can find.
Well, if that's what you feel like you need to do to scout or whatever, we can set a. I don't remember if he does he have the ability for sending?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so Talon will set like a check-in time with
Mhm.
him.
Okay.
For so like maybe like 24 hours from whenever it is that he leaves. And like, just expect, I'll check in with you in 24 hours to see where you're at and what you found out and just like we'll outlay like our plan. Like we're gonna go meet up we're gonna, take a long rest. If you want to leave in the morning or if you want to leave right now, whatever. Do you, but this is our plan. We're gonna go meet up with the scouting party, see what they found out, and then we're gonna go to the Lost Peak and deal with whatever is there.
All right.
So if you end up that way, that's where we'll be, if that's where your feeling leads you. Otherwise, I will check in with you in 24 hours after whenever it is that you depart.
All right. Sounds good. You see him get to the edge of the ship. He has his large pole in hand and his pack over his shoulder. And as he is about to take off, he looks to the ground and he says, you know that one? As you look over, you see Elisar, the elf elder that you know that walked you into town. And he is like waving from the ground.
Does it look like he wants to come up, or does it look like he wants us to come down? Like he's like waving us like down, or
Yeah, he's like
okay, yeah. So, Talon will really quickly like slide down the rope.
He nods to you and nods to everyone else, being very polite. And he says, I don't know what. Sorry, I was like, I don't remember what accent I gave him. It was Southern. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with what you've been up to, but and he like hands you a book. It's a book on the circus. And it seems to be that he was probably getting a book for your little brother. And as you open it, it looks all right for a few pages, and then you turn to a page and some of the ink on the page has started to evaporate from it. The words are leaving this page.
What's on the page that we can make out?
It's explaining. It's like kind of like a textbook on what a circus is and like the history of circuses and stuff. Do you have any idea what's going on? It's not a magic I've ever seen before.
So
What's the title of the book? Like, if it's not important, it's not important.
It's not important. It's just like a history of the traveling circus.
So we were told that this cave contains a pool of water that lets you travel through time. Right?
Lost Peak, yes.
If they've gone to use that and are going back in time and fucking with shit or trying to change history.
That would be a dangerous use of magic. And an unpredictable one at that.
I don't think they really would care if it's dangerous or not, if it would help with their cause to further their god's agenda.
You said that would be astonishing if that's what they decided to do. And I don't know how they get back from something like that. I suppose
they probably
if they
don't
send
care.
followers.
Yeah, these types don't really seem like they care about dying for their in service of Timora.
So like kamikaze timeline destroyers? Like what kind of time terrorism is this?
Somebody can make me an arcana. I'm just gonna say, Colchis. You have witnessed the destruction of the cataclysm of what happens when a god is cut off from the world. The dawn is no longer there. These small things, vengeance, like, you don't know the ramifications of something like that. You know that the plan, like, as you know it, is cut off gods to get more followers, to get more power, to be the most powerful, and to have the most power. This is knowledge-based information. They could be going back in time and like, I can see, yes, they could be going back in time and Back to the Futuring things. That is a possibility. They have a spot that is very capable of doing that. The other possibility is that the god who is in charge of this sort of domain is being cut off as well.
I'm trying to pull up the
Mm.
our Scooby Doo clues so I know who
Yeah.
is who maybe got.
Well,
Is that, wouldn't that be a Zuth?
Zuth is the god of wizards.
Oh, well, and Mistra is the god
Oh,
of
so-
magic.
Of magic.
Og-
This is knowledge.
So Ogma and Braja, who we went to in Candlekeep.
That would be a fair assessment.
Talon will
If that's the case of what's happening.
burn a 3rd level spell slot and listen for to Raja and listen for static. Hey, you good, bro?
Your spell goes out, and you hear that very familiar static sound coming back to you.
She got him.
That's
Suppose we probably want to get a move on. Knowledge
sti-
has been removed.
yeah. I still think like there's got to be. I mean, if this cave has this thing, this magic, this portal, it just seems like they're using it for something, right? Wouldn't set up their base of operations over a weapon like that and just like ignore it.
It's like a pretty big deal, I feel like.
Yeah, it can't just be a coincidence. Anyway.
I'm sure there's some reason there. I mean, I don't want to make assumptions, but it's possible that, you know, the reason that plague went through however many years ago is part of the reason why they're there as well.
Yeah.
Could have even been setting the foundation for using the place for this purpose.
We have
Yeah, I
no
mean-
idea how long this plan has been in motion between Timor, Bashaba, and Tolona.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely like if everyone there died of some sort of mysterious illness that has Tolona's hands all over it. And I think Colchis is right. Like it seems reasonable that they might have done that for the purpose of getting access to this place for some reason.
If I may, knowledge is very important, obviously. We've built our society around it. Knowing exactly what happened in the past is enough power in itself. Changing it, that, like I said, is very powerful and very dangerous. It just getting to where you want to be going is nigh on impossible. But knowing exactly what happened, that is a great power of itself.
I mean, they could be searching for why Taichi was, or how Taichi was split in the first place in order to, you know, accelerate the rejoining. That sounded gross.
Or even just remembering who they were.
All right. I mean, do we think it's still safe for us to take another night to rest and prepare, or do we need to head out right now?
I mean, I don't want the scouts to just sit there waiting for us and for us to not go there. Because I don't want them to end up in the line of fire going to look for us or something. I don't know.
I mean, if we're heading right, I'm saying if we're to head there ahead of them, to just go ahead and go, and they can follow after.
I'm good either way, but I also don't entirely rely on magic. So for those who do, how are your resources?
I think you all are pretty like okay as far as like you've had a long rest since you fought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any slots taken, so I'm golden.
So
Okay.
if you want to
I
reset
just burned the one for that
spells or
sending,
anything,
so
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the biggest concerns are being able to repick spells and also like the scouts were gonna go like scout it out and report back to us, but now
Mhm.
there's this sudden potential urgency of like, well, we can't wait for the scouting report anymore. Let's just go in there.
Yeah.
And that also gives you the opportunity that she is, I mean, at least right now, or very recently, was not at the keep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine either way. That's
Same. So I'm good with going. I'm good with waiting. If I had to choose one way or another.
where's Alhana at for the group?
I don't think she's used any spells.
I don't think so
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, we should all be same boat, I think.
Yeah. The only prep spell I can think that I know Van would probably want to cast is like a
Hero's Feast or something.
Hero's Feast or something. It doesn't look like Alhana currently has that prepared. So we'd be going in without that.
Was that a dog?
Gosh. Yes.
She
It
wants to
sounded
go
like
out.
no.
Give us a minute.
15 minutes, hey, baby. 15 minutes. All right, what's the plan? Stands?
Is everyone good with that?
I mean, going without Heroes Feast. I don't
Mhm.
love it, but if that's our only
Let
option,
it rip.
let's let it rip.
Yeah, I mean the big thing with that is we're going into a place full of diseases and poisons and shit.
Yeah.
People
Also-
that use
Yeah.
those sorts of things.
I've-
And
I will have Aura of Purity because I've still got it prepared for when we thought we were going to be encountering those sorts of things. So I'll
Yeah.
mostly just have that up, and y'all just need to stay close.
yeah, so that gives us another option.
And I mean,
Okay.
it is a 30-foot radius, so that's a pretty big space.
Yeah, and I think I have. No, I don't. I was looking for greater restoration. I don't think I have that prepared. Oh, I do. Okay.
I'm gonna have mass cure wounds if we need that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we're fine. We always are. I mean, okay, now that I'm looking at LB, I feel less confident
Sorry.
in what I said.
I don't know. That whole being immune to poison thing really threw me for a loop last time, but no, this
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah, Aura of Purity only gives resistance to it, but we do also get advantage on saving throws against almost every condition in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
then
and
let's-
we're all potioned up and shit too. Arrow bought a bunch of potions.
Yeah, we need to divide those up. I was talking about that in the chat before because Alex asked. So before we get too much into it, let's go ahead and divvy those out. I was thinking, so we have 3 greater healings, 2 superiors. I was thinking the people with more hit points take the 2 superiors. Everyone else takes a greater. So Colchis and Arrow take a superior. Everyone else takes a greater healing potion. I got the potions of Fire Giant Strength specifically for Colchis and Arrow, as well, since it's a strength-based thing. I don't think anyone else uses strength for attacks or anything. And then a potion of heroism for everybody. Then 2 potions of speed. Whoever thinks they would benefit the most from have essentially the effects of haste.
I have the boots of haste, so I don't need that. Somebody else can get that.
Okay, I figure
I have
Colchis would probably
Yeah.
I
like
got the
the
boots.
additional attack and movement speed and AC and all that good stuff.
Yep. I'm just imagining like drinking all of these back to back, or like how is it?
Just
There's
chug
a-
them all. I know the
Albeit,
potion.
I know there's a table for that.
I know the potions of I think Fire Giant and Heroism both last for an hour, so they last for a pretty good amount of time.
Okay.
Speed I think is only for a minute.
Yeah.
Hush. Sorry.
So Tanya, do you want one of the potions of speed? I mean, I guess you're mostly doing spells these days.
Yeah, if I had that, I would use it just to run away, if anything. So I don't really need it. But
Because Colchis and I, and then well, you already have it. So Colchis
got
and I would also
boots,
get
so
an
I'm good.
additional attack on
Yeah.
top of that.
yeah, I
I
have no
think
use for that.
that's probably the better use of that resource.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm hanging out in the back, so I shouldn't need anything like that.
I do have banishment prepared still.
I've got feeble
Still have
mind
that,
ready to go.
I'm not afraid to
I
banish
do.
something off the state of off the plane for a minute while we regroup.
Yeah, I have teleport also, so we'll be okay.
That takes like a minute to cast at least.
Again,
maybe
teleport
10
does
minutes.
not work like you think
Yeah.
it does.
No.
Come on, let it work the way I want it to.
Is it just do you have teleport
Let me
or
do it
teleportation
cool.
circle?
Let's go to Margaritaville with that.
Let's fucking go to
Get
Margaritaville.
Margaritaville. Sleep at
We
Margaritaville.
just already need a vacation. We're halfway through this fight. Let's just like regroup in Margaritaville, have some
Yeah.
tacos, have a margarita or two, and then we'll come back.
Do you have teleport or teleportation circle?
Teleport.
So teleport is an action. That just goes and you just go wherever you want. You have to like roll depending on how familiar you are with the area, but that could be like a panic button we all get out of there.
Yeah.
Because it's just
Yeah.
you and 8 creatures of your choice within 10 feet of you. So if we start
Yeah.
to get overrun or start to have a problem, you can teleport us like back to the ship because you're very familiar with that spot. So
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Val.
If it's undead, I can always blast a bunch of them out of existence with the channel divinity too, to give us to buy us some time.
I don't want to gamble on that considering it's a 10% chance that succeeds.
But teleport
But-
succeeds, or
Oh no, that
the
channel divinity.
Mm.
That I rather not. That is a Hail Mary. We have no fucking.
Oh
other
no,
options.
channel divinity is the one that I use to like just.
Oh,
blast
sorry. I was thinking divine.
zombies. No, divine
intervention.
divine intervention.
Yes, that one. That's the panic. Hail Mary.
So-
Divine
panic
panic Hail
button.
Mary. I've got one. Now, if I was 20th level, it would succeed automatically.
No.
I know.
No.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we're all.
Yeah, it
thinking
sounds like
we
fuck
just
it. Let's rock
go
and
for it.
roll.
Hell yeah. So going right there?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let her rip. Let her rip.
Yeah, let's just see what happens, I guess.
I think I
Alright.
was just going over Alhana so because I'd feel bad if Van came back next session and was like, I didn't have any of the spells I wanted to prepare, but I think he's still got a good spread. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm good.
All right. So you guys load back up onto the ship after being so rudely taken off. And you make your way to the Lost Peak. As you are flying, how close do you guys want to get before you land the ship?
We don't know what kind of defenses they have, and my Italian's dad said it was a fortress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to risk like catapult or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I think like
Yeah.
close enough that like they'll probably see us, but not necessarily like if they're paying attention, but not so
Yeah.
close that like they know for sure that like we are headed to them. Like we could
Yeah.
it could just
Right.
be a ship passing. And
Is this like when we say fortress, is this like Tolkien-esque? Like is this like a castle or is
is this
this like
Helm's Deep or
or is this
it-
like
It is-
Tolkien-esque? There's an undefended door on a side of a mountain.
So this is a dwarven fortress which has some defenses, but most of the defenses of a dwarven fortress are that it is underground. So where they will have some things that will be like that would have been at this is 1,000 years ago though, so anything that's probably set up to defend is probably old. If they are if they've built it up to be, I guess you guys have seen at least how it was a little bit ago when they started going in there, and it didn't seem like they were putting anything on the outside of this massive entrance. So it's kind of up to you guys. I think it would be unlikely for you to believe that there would be like catapults and shit out front if they're trying to keep a low profile. I guess that is my only stance on that.
Got it.
All right, fuck it. Drop us nearby.
Okay. As you guys
Tanya's
are,
happy. Fuck it.
yeah,
Full
let's
tilt. Drop
fucking
us
Let's
right
go.
inside, right at the
That's my
front door.
style.
You guys start to fly over. You see the massive grandfather tree to the north and the mountains off in the distance. There is a mountain range further to the south that it kind of lines the horizon. But the ones that you are heading to are two very distinct mountain ranges. Talon, you would know that they were, millions of years ago, probably one mountain range, but there's a river that runs through both of them. And so it has become these two grand peaks. And the fortress that you saw, the entrance through the bush, seemed to be about halfway up this peak. You can be dropped off at that entrance. I assume you'd probably like a little bit more stealthiness and get dropped off at the base of the mountain or close to, so that there's a little bit of discreetness to your approach. Who all are you bringing with you? I think Mishamar is going to go check on Candlekeep and see what actually is going on over there, just to make sure. But you still have 1973 and
Shamba.
What? Shamba, yes.
Is it
Is
better for
Shamba
them?
ready for
They are they did just grow back an arm, and they're I don't know, I think physically yes, emotionally ooh no. no.
Yeah.
So like Talon and everybody like probably sees like getting ready to
Mhm.
come with, and she just kind of like puts a hand on their shoulder and is like, stay and defend the ship.
You can see that he is about to like, no, I should, and then he's like, okay. Okay. Yeah.
There's always a chance that things won't go well, and we can't have all of us in one place.
Yeah, just be careful. She is formidable.
But hopefully she's not there.
Hopefully not.
And then we can, piss her off by doing this, and then you can be there when we get revenge.
Okay. I can see him like rubbing his arm.
They'll need you here if things don't go well.
Yeah. I'll be as helpful as I can.
Kind of like claps him on the shoulder. Just like the
Kinda
old shoulder, not the new shoulder.
Yeah. He turns around and starts tinkering with another creation he's been working on over the past couple days. Maybe something new to help.
And
Right.
we'll turn and obviously tell 1973 like you're welcome to come with, but you don't have to.
I have been sitting on this ship for so long. I'd love to go into combat if you don't mind.
Far be it for me to argue with you.
Oh, I think
One unaffected by disease.
Right, that'd be very useful against the goddess of disease. I totally thought of that and was not just itching for a fight to have a fight. All right, well,
All strapped up and ready to go then.
yeah, he kind of like. I just thought about him as Bender, and he like opens up his and pulls out stuff, but no, he's very much filled with parts. So he gathers his gears, puts his giant sword on his back, and starts joining you guys on your trek up the mountain. I think that's a good spot for us to take a little break since the kids need to go out.
Since someone's very needy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now you're
So
gonna be
go
shy?
to a place, unless just to grab a drink, grab a food, grab a friend. Otherwise, we'll see you back in a few minutes. Bye! Hello and welcome back. You guys make your way up the mountain, and you find yourselves. It's a very clear path. This was a well established city fortress many years ago. It's a bit worn, but you can tell that there has been movement here. But as you guys have, and I forgot to mention this before, as you guys flew closer to the mountain itself, you could see the devastation that is starting to happen from this space. And there is a bunch of rotted and dying trees and foliage around this area. It is quiet. There are no animals around. And you guys kind of park, pull up, and start walking up this mountain. It probably takes about an hour to get up there, but you start to find yourselves at this big entrance. And at the entrance, you notice a very distinct solitude bush that is completely dead and just almost like a tumbleweed that is off to the side. And you can recognize this is probably where you were looking at the entrance because you get that angle from here. This is probably the last piece of foliage that is at this level of the mountain, and also was probably one of the first to go. But you can see that this opening is large. It's, probably 30 feet high. There are two statues on either side that have been worn and broken at this point, but at one time they were great dwarves with shields and battle axes on either side. And as you walk in, and you guys can see, I'll take you over to the map. There is a grand entrance that kind of a path that goes off to the left. And as you walk that way, you can see that it is caved in. And not just the upkeep of it has not been maintained. The stones have completely fallen, and it has been getting smaller as it goes in. As a normal entrance, the whole place isn't 30 feet tall, but it does seem to be cut off at the top. But to the right, you do see an entrance, and this entrance has a little bit of an archway over it. It seems to be, this was very often used. This, for anybody who knows anything about dwarven civilizations, this is probably for merchants and traders to come in, anybody who is visiting the city, as opposed to armies who were traveling in and out of here if they were trying to bring their children or to hide away in this keep. And you could see, I guess, in the ruins that are up to the northwest, there are pieces that look maybe like battlement, pieces of wall that have fallen in. You could see at the very base of it where some of the stones have moved aside. There are spaces that are very clearly worn stone that look to be what made a wall in this area. So yeah, that's what you see before you. This archway off to the right, and then the large entryway that has been cut off to the left. What would you guys like to do?
Well, guess we're closed for business. Let's go home.
All right, you guys
We're
get
done.
back on the ship now.
The way to the left, we couldn't get through it if we wanted to.
I mean, if you had a bunch of dwarves or people who knew how to move rocks in any capacity, you could probably do it in some time. I'm just saying.
Okay, so I imagine we'll go to the right.
Yeah, and so I guess the question is just, do we want to let the sneaky folks go ahead, or put the big armored and hit point pools up at the front?
Moxie's staying in the back. That's all I know.
I mean, that can be relatively quiet and sneaky without magic. I have a +10 to stealth without Pass Without a Trace. So I could also cast Pass Without a Trace if we want a sneak. But hey, can I? Do I have that still? Thought I did. Maybe I gave that up. That was one of my ranger spells once upon a time. Maybe I gave that up when I
You used
reworked.
it. I thought you used it when you were in the tower.
Yeah, you.
Oh.
So too. I guess I haven't really checked my sheet since the new stuff happened, so maybe something got messed up and I'm missing a spell. I might be. Maybe I didn't have it as
Possible.
one of my ranger spells. Maybe it was one of my cleric spells. It's not a cleric spell, so I must have.
Well, now that I'm checking, I am
Accidentally.
seeing that I can prepare 2 more spells than I have prepared. So
Oh, shit.
let me do that real fast.
right.
Well, yeah, why don't I have that anymore? Because I know I used it recently and it's not a cleric spell, so I must have, or something must have gotten screwed up somewhere along the line.
Maybe it was on the second when this 2024 bullshit came out.
Yeah, I
I
somehow
mean,
blame
we
D&D
love you,
Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
Yeah, we love D&D Beyond, but you know,
Nah.
every now and then something
Yeah.
happens, and I'm like, I swear I didn't touch that. So
Just want to make sure
Well.
your stuff's all up to date.
yeah.
Meanwhile, there's a new
Okay.
smite in here that does not
yeah.
say legacy, so I'm
Don't use
learning
that.
about that.
You don't want to use that.
Well, it's not the paladin smite. It's just like
Why do
another,
I was gonna say
like-
I see I have Searing Smite as an option now.
Yeah, this is shining
That's
smite.
cleric.
No,
Ah.
under my ranger spells. Which seems wrong.
Weird. Well, if we're
Yeah.
sticking to 20,
Anyway,
if we're sticking
yes,
to, you know,
yes.
the old rules, no, everything has
Yeah.
to be legacy that you pick.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if there are other spells to pick, but everything is concentration. I'm already going to be using one, so I guess I'm just going to prepare daylight in case we need to light things up.
Oh, was our level up after the tower?
Yes.
Yes, it was after rescuing the Zooth.
I think I gave up Pass Without a Trace
When you switched. Okay.
when I switched. Because
Oh.
yeah, because I reworked stuff.
Arrow, somehow you ended up in the middle of nothing in this. Come here.
Think I gave
I
that one
tried
up.
to add myself when you were telling us to, and I just it never popped up for me. So yeah,
That's
assuming it
alright.
showed
I
up
wonder if
behind
anybody
us.
else. Oh no, it's Nega Arrow. Again.
They're back. They showed back up.
No.
They finally found their way
no.
out of the space.
I'm ready. I've
I'm-
been training for this moment.
I am prepared to have to fight
Just
evil
something.
me at some point since we left them alive.
No. They're mine.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys would like to move your tokens as you make your way through this beautiful arch, you find yourselves in a bit of a. Sorry, I thought Tanya fell. You find yourselves in a well executed at one time passageway. It has since fallen by the wayside. There are stones and bricks that have fallen asunder. But you find yourselves walking in. There are a lot of really nice inscriptions that have since been slightly worn in the walls that, if anybody speaks Dwarvish, are welcoming, but in a almost threatening way. You know, if you come with peace, come freely. If you come with malice, we will destroy
Fuck
you,
off.
basically. Yeah, fuck off. But as you guys enter this, you do start to hear a bit of a roar of running water. And as you make your way into this area, you see there's a small section, a small passageway off to the right. How are you guys lighting yourselves? Because it is very dark in here once you get past the entryway.
I know Alhana just has the light spell, right?
I
mean,
do
of course
too.
she- Okay.
Okay.
So we can do a
Oh, that's
couple
right.
of
She has
those.
it on her staff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just have to remember with my hammer. Okay, I can do dancing light 3 times.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just have light. So
I do too.
I can cast it on something
All right.
if someone wants to be the light bearer. Let me
I
know.
think maybe a couple of us just in
Okay.
case we get separated.
Yeah, I'll put
Mhm.
it on me.
All right.
I mean,
Go ahead and move yourselves forward.
Well,
Can
I'm
you all move your
saying.
tokens?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to
Okay.
hang out in the back.
All right. You hear this. It is, once you get inside, it is quite a roar. And you see your light starts reflecting off of this water that is reflecting off to the side. There is a huge, what seems to be a huge waterfall off to the left. And off to the right, before this bridge, is the flowing water. It is very clear, as it is coming from a spring. But it does seem different. It's a little bit magical in itself, and it's hard to... Hello, thanks, Mecca. Good to see you. It's giving off a bit of those magical, like, tinkles for those of you who have magical abilities. But it is very loud. There is a ramp that is going from the base of... You can kind of walk up to the water right up here, and then there's a ramp that goes up probably about... It's a very steep ramp. It probably goes about 50 feet high. And this chamber is probably about 100 feet tall from what you can see in your limited light source.
okay, so this steep ramp is this hallway off to the right here?
No, I'm sorry. The steep ramp is the what looks like cobblestone up before you.
The bridge there.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
The tunnel to the right seems like a tunnel to the right.
Can we hear anything as far as people go, or is the waterfall too loud?
Waterfall's really loud. You don't hear any like yelling or anything like that over it, if that's... But it'd be... You guys kind of have to talk to each other in a loud tone to kind of hear as you're close to this. You're at the base of this waterfall. It's quite loud.
Does one spot look more well traveled or anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ramp absolutely looks to be that's where, like, some of the rocks have been moved out of the way, and it seems like that's a space you could go. That's... If people were coming in here, that's where they'd be going.
Probably check the hallway to the right just to
Yeah.
make sure there's nothing.
Nothing's
there.
gonna come up behind us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, who's going down the hallway?
I'll head down.
Okay. Arrow.
I'll
would you
go
do
with.
me... Arrow, would you do me a favor and roll a d6 for me?
Okay.
Are we all sticking together?
I imagine you and I will stay at this fork just in
Okay.
case for now.
That's a
As
2.
long as I have a friend.
Two. Okay. Arrow, as you're walking through here, the water is picking up a lot of stuff, and you get a sharp pain in your eye as some of the dust from this place really just kind of like got in one of them, and you kind of spend like a few minutes trying to get out whatever it is. Really inconvenient, really like kind of painful, just not great, but you're able to blink it out, and like your eyes watering a little, which is water genasi, watering more than usual, but you're able to get it out after a moment.
My eyes actually get really dry when they're irritated.
Yes,
and-
there,
and,
yeah.
it's the
Mhm.
opposite.
Uh.
Just constantly water.
Just crying all the time.
I need the dust in here. But there's nothing else here.
No, doesn't seem to be anything down this way specifically. It's probably like an offshoot. They might have had like some vendors or, you know, You talk to somebody down there that, welcome. This is where the welcome center was. I'll say.
Okay.
I did not build this map. Also.
Seems clear.
All right. Well, we've checked it, so now we can head across the bridge where we are, with limited escape options. But
Okay. Guys, make your way up, and as your light starts to catch more and more on this area, you see that, again, it's a very steep bridge. You get a little bit of splash from the waterfall itself. I guess I can just reveal the whole
I
waterfall.
catch some water to
now.
rinse out my eye.
There you go. There you go. Okay, Fog of War. Okay. Gets a little excited. You can see that there is a large, I was going to call it a foyer. It's kind of a foyer. It's just a big open area, and before you seems to be a large opening that has since been caved in. It was a grand carving of a dwarf, but now seems to be, whereas his mouth was opened with this grand mustache that is falling down, it is closed off. But there is a pathway to the right that you can see that seems to be, again, well-traveled.
Yes, towards the well-traveled path.
Only one way to go. Okay.
Kind of just like quietly like.
Nope. This one, please. Eraser. The
I'm
path
just here to
is
party.
Yeah, the path is fairly small, and it probably at one time, for those of you who have been in cave systems like this before, anyone who's been into a dwarven fortress, it does seem like this was maybe a secretive path at one time, but it has since been cleared away and has, again, been well traveled. It leads up above this rock face, and you can see that these stairs are not quite as well hewn into the stone as the rest of this mountain has been so far, and you see that they've been repaired a bit. Maybe cracked a little bit deeper so that they're more defined. It seems like whomever has been traveling this has been clearing it. And as you make your way up to this top, Moxie, can you do me a favor and roll me a d6?
Ooh, 5.
Okay. As you walk up these steps, you find yourself tripped up on one of them. Like the levels are not they are all unique. They are not in any way well made. And you like your toe kind of clips on it, and you fall forward a little bit and find you have lost a shoe on the step behind you.
I need to get my shoe.
Yeah, you can get your shoe.
Okay. I grab my shoe and put it on.
Sit down and
Yeah.
tie
I
it back
figured
up.
out what's going on.
Yeah,
I
think
haven't, and I'm scared, but okay.
I
We
think
are
we're
in the domain of the bad luck god.
yeah, I think we're getting some bad luck.
Just a little
Okay,
bit.
well-
I mean,
Carry on, I guess.
my wayward son. I lost a shoe.
Also, I forget, does Moxie have hooves or feet?
I thought you had
Oh,
feet.
yeah, feet.
Yeah, because you have a tail, right?
Yeah.
You guys can see, and it's not well marked on this map. Oh no, it is. No, it isn't. There is a passageway that was once probably sealed off, but has now been a door has been thrown open. At the top of this area seems to be a secret passage that of some regard that leads into a separate little room that is behind everything. And that has a space, again, not well defined, that leads through this hallway, through this wall, to a very small room on the other side. So up near where the 5 is, there is a passageway. You can kind of see it on the other side, that little black line. There is a secret passage up if you climb up these rocks.
Okay, so
to
like going
yes.
that way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose. How do I get back to being able to move my token? I used the wrong tool.
Oh, unclick the hand button.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we see that
Unhand
path.
me.
Does it seem like if we continued along this main path that is closed off, or
If you
unclear
can,
from
yeah,
where we are?
this seems to be some sort of balcony that was used to look over people who were entering. It probably was used for protection as well if they were under siege. But it
Okay.
seems to end at this far.
Okay, so down by where the 3 is.
Correct. Here.
Okay.
I'm going to do this awful ping. No? You don't want to ping? Okay. Yeah, you're...
Yeah, you have to change.
Oh my
that
god.
is-
Oh my god. Yep. Mm-hmm. Thanks,
Either
D&D
I'd
Beyond.
forgotten or I had not seen that ping before.
I like it.
At least it doesn't make the sound that roll does.
Right.
Yeah, you can actually
Wah!
find it.
But all right.
Moxie, were you coming along? Are you still behind tying your shoe?
Scared. Max,
Are you on an
pretty
iPad?
scared. Yeah.
Do you want me to move you?
Oh no, I'm fine.
Okay.
Still have a pencil.
Once you guys get into this area 6, it is quite a bit quieter in here. And it's a little bit easier to hear yourselves, as well as the sort of quiet trickling that is in the areas ahead of you, or what seems to be the areas ahead of you.
Yeah,
But you
so we
can make your
move-
way from 6 to 18.
Okay.
Okay, so just pull
Mhm.
ourselves through the walls.
Yeah, you look over. Yeah. You look over outside of this room, and you can see that your light kind of vanishes. Hello, I want the eraser, please. Vanishes down as this area is above the area that you would be continuing on to below. And as you kind of look down to it, there is a tie point up here where somebody had tied off a rope, and you can see that it's been cut. So any traveling that has been done here has not been done with this rope in a while. Probably like, I mean, it seems pretty fresh, as in it's not like 1,000 years old, but it's been it's a little rotted, you know. Probably for those of you with natural nature abilities, it's probably been a few weeks at least since they cut this rope.
Okay.
But it's about a 15-foot drop.
Yeah, I
Who,
guess.
who has the rope to spare to tie a new one?
I'm sure I have rope in my inventory.
I know. I feel like I have some too.
Arrow can just climb down and catch people.
I have 50-foot rope.
I'm a filthy liar and don't have any.
I don't seem to have any more rope. Don't know if I did
You got
or
paper
not.
though. You need paper. I got you.
Solid.
It's cool. I got a 50-foot hempen rope. I could also cast rope trick. But
Probably save the spell slots.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I could just like, if it's 15 feet, like I can just climb down and then like help people down. Like that's not gonna be huge.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this probably isn't going to be a place we need to quickly escape from here. And worst case, we can toss people up.
Mhm.
Toss me. Sorry.
So I'm not sure it would probably take both Arrow and Colchis to toss Alhena.
Oh shit! Yeah, we've got a horse with us
Half horse.
who can't. Again, the logistics of a horse climbing a wall.
It's Skyrim physics.
Yeah,
Skyrim has
yeah. I
that.
guess if Alhena just hits it at an angle and just kind of works her way back and forth, she can
It just
eventually climb up
works.
it.
It just works. We don't have to.
Hey, ever heard of a mountain goat? You know?
Yeah,
Which is
just
not a
saying.
horse.
Well, how do you
It's
know
a
Alhena's not
four-legged
half
creature.
mountain goat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they can do it.
She's mountain
Alhena's
goat
super
on her
smart.
mother's side.
Yeah. It's a skill. We just haven't learned about it yet.
But yeah,
Alhena can also fly.
oh yeah, Alhena
yeah.
can fly at will.
That's true. That's
Forgot
true.
about
That's
that.
true.
Yeah, we're fine. We
Uh,
don't have to worry
Okay.
about Alhena. They can fly
Uh,
at
Yeah,
will.
I'll climb down first and
Alright.
make sure it's clear.
Okay, you climb down. You hear running water down this pathway. You did just pass a large waterfall that had a river coming off of it, so probably continuation of that. But yeah,
I'm fine with climbing down a wall as well.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Arrow
not
the
strong,
flame,
but I am
catch people.
dexterous.
Can Kulkus, if you're moving forward a little bit, can you make me a d6 roll, please?
Yes. That was more just me getting my character out
That's-
of there, but happy to that's a 1.
A 1. Okay.
Oh, boy.
You have you're wearing a breastplate, right?
I believe that is what my armor is. Where do I find this?
In your inventory.
Yes, mithril plate. So plate mail.
Okay. You, as you're adjusting yourself and getting down, you feel a strap on your shoulder break. And as it does, it kind of slides down your body a bit. It's still connected to one shoulder, but it does clang a little bit. And as that happens, you hear a bit of shuffling ahead. Not a lot of movement, just a little bit, just like bodies moving. But you do have a strap broken on your armor. If anybody has mending, it's easy to fix, but
I don't know if any of us do have mending.
I do.
I was gonna say someone has to have mending.
I took mending, and so did and Moxie's had it. I think Moxie, you've had it for a lot longer than I do, so you mend away. I think this is the first time we've had an opportunity to use it. Get it?
Let's do it at the same time and
We'll
try it.
both
See what
mend it.
happens.
You
Let's
both
double
cast,
mend
it
it.
only takes 30 seconds instead of a
There
minute.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do it at the same
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Same time.
Your aura, your light aura is how much light? Sorry.
Like 20 and 20.
Okay. So
20
you
and
can
20.
see.
Yes, that's correct. For an hour.
Okay. Let's see a bit ahead. But
Yeah,
then
kinda, like hold up as like hearing those sounds ahead of us.
yeah. The sounds have stopped. When it gets silent, the sounds stop.
We're in like a like a tunnel.
Yeah, it's a narrow tunnelway. This isn't the fancy stuff. This is more like walkways for people who are working here, or like they were just tunneling this space out. It seems very not as well hewn as a lot of the other spots in any dwarven society would have been.
Okay. How high are the ceilings?
Like 20 feet.
Arrow is going to climb up the wall and start climbing along the ceiling.
Okay.
As we go forward, in case anything's above us.
Okay.
I have a 40-foot.
Sorry,
I
were
have a
you
40-foot climb speed.
Okay. Are you worried because of content warning?
Yes. Yeah. I
Okay.
want to make sure nothing's going to grab us from the ceiling and yank somebody up. And start
That's
slowly killing
totally fair. Do you have any low light vision or anything like that?
them. That's a good question. I always forget that about Genasi. I don't.
I think it's only the fire genasi.
Yeah,
that get.
I do not. Which again, as a water living creature, feels weird. But no, I do not.
I'll look at
Inter-
stuff for you. Dark vision.
But y'all, yeah.
But there is
I'm
a
not gonna-
light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's light. I'm not going to get too far ahead of everyone. I'm just going to, again, just for the element of surprise, if something does come out, I can just drop down from the ceiling on them.
Absolutely. As you guys start to move forward, every step like when you start making movement, you start hearing that shuffling again. And as you move further down this hallway and start to come around the corner, guys, you see a being standing in the hallway. They seem to be shrouded in a cloak that goes over their head and down their back. Their arms are free, and you can see that they have a dagger in their arms. And as you kind of stop to, like, adjust, they turn their head and stop moving when you stop moving.
Gonna just like experimentally raise an arm up but not take a step and see if it like mimics us in that way at all.
It's evil arrow.
As you notice as you do this, it is the sound of your armor moving that makes it shift its head again and kind of move forward slightly. And as it does that, you can see around the corner there's more down this hallway.
From the ceiling, Arrow's just gonna like wave down to them, get their attention, and then like point at them, point to Talon, like mimic drawing a bow. To like,
That is the quietest option.
Mhm.
So I think Talon will just without hesitation fire an arrow at the first one. I'm
Okay.
so worried.
You're go ahead and make a roll. An attack roll, please. I mean, obviously.
Mhm.
just roll anything.
Mhm.
Roll
D100.
anything.
Yeah. D30, let's go.
It's a 30.
A 30. Your bow.
You crit on your D30.
Right, there you go. Go ahead and roll me damage.
All right, hold on. So 12 piercing,
Okay.
6 fire, and then I think it's a D8. Yes, it's a D8 necrotic.
Oh, we do also need to remember that we get blessed from grandfather tree, unless that's no longer in effect here.
I think you're okay.
Wasn't sure how that
Oh,
worked
yeah.
with
Oh,
being
it's
in
not-
his area, but in the rotted area.
Yeah, he did give that. He bestowed that upon you. So how much was that total?
So 12 piercing, 6 fire, 8 necrotic.
Okay, so 26.
26 total.
Okay. Your arrow pierces into this thing, and as it does, you see it reach out with its blade to slice in front of it, and as it does, the one next to it also reaches out and attempts to strike, and as it does, it narrowly misses its companion to its left. And there's a bit of shuffling, and you can hear more movement behind them as it has done a significant amount of damage to this thing, but as their movement stops, they stop. Or that doesn't make sense. It does
As
make
the
sense.
noise of
Yes.
one of them getting hit and striking out from the hit
Yeah.
stops, they all stop.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I get it. They're
You picking up what I'm putting down?
echolocating, kind of. They don't see, they hear,
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm vibing from this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They have a similar vibe to a different game or movie, if you've seen the movie. But yeah, as you stand there with your bow raised, they do not seem to move unless you guys make noise.
But they are blocking this hallway.
Correct.
Okay.
Can I from the ceiling drop a rock down directly between two of them?
And I have
If you'd like.
thaumaturgy. I can make a noise anywhere if we need that.
That's true.
To maybe make them attack each other.
That's kind of an amazing idea.
You've seen the movie I'm speaking of, haven't you?
I think I don't know if I know. What
Oh,
you're
no, you
talking
don't know?
about.
Okay, I won't say. I'll tell you guys later.
I feel like I have, but I don't. I
I'm
can't.
sure you have.
I can't put my finger on exactly what
nothing.
I mean,
this is right now.
Having not seen
feeling-
it, I'm assuming this is The Quiet Place or something in that franchise.
Mm-mm.
I'm feeling more The Descent.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, I'm excited that you guys don't know this. It's one of my
Okay,
favorite
is it-
scenes.
Is it a movie, you said?
It is a movie. It's also a video game.
Oh, it's a game.
But yes, if you guys would like to make a sound between them, you are.
Yes, I would love to do that. Just
Okay.
again, just to simply break off a piece of stone and drop it down between them.
Yeah, you do so, and they turn. One of them reaches out and strikes at the other one that is already damaged. And he is going to automatically do enough damage to lay this thing out. And as it does, you see more moving into this area. But as the body falls and the movement stops, they stop.
I have a really crazy idea. I have Toll of the Dead.
Whatever you want to do, I'm in. I don't know, but I'm in. Let's
You
do it.
point at one creature you see within range, and the sound of a dolorous bell fills the air around it for a moment.
Yeah, that would work too. Either that, or I'm just gonna keep dropping.
That's a
rocks down
cantrip.
on
So
them, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could just do
So,
that within
I-
60 feet. So I think Tad will have everybody just back up just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then she'll pick one that she can
Well,
see. Oh, go
So
ahead.
does Toll the Dead have verbal components to it?
That's a good question.
Oh yes.
So you're
Well,
gonna
so-
Does.
Well, but what I'm thinking is like Colchis will just be there as a shield wall and like just stop as whoever's behind is casting spells, and Arrow can be like, dropping sound distractions from above.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine if you're whispering Told the Dead, they're gonna be more distracted by the very loud noise.
Yeah.
happening
That's what I
in
was
their
hoping,
face.
is because
Mhm.
yes, it has a verbal component, but it doesn't say how loud that has to be. And I think that'll be like they might crack their head this way, but then that loud sound of the bell
Yeah.
might be
Mhm.
more, so she'll pick one in the middle and kind of like duck back a little bit and whisper the spell, and it's the furthest one in the middle that she can see. And it has
Rachel,
to
have
make
you made a D6 roll yet?
No, I have not.
Why don't you do that for me?
Okay. I'll remind you that I still have my lucky rabbit's foot.
You sure do. That's right. You have not lost that yet.
That's a 4.
That's a 4. Okay. As you are casting this spell, you are speaking this very quietly and very deliberately. You bite your tongue as you do it. It doesn't mess up the spell, but it does hurt. But you cast this spell, and you can hear this long toll echoing throughout this cavern. How loud is it?
It just says the sound of a dolorous bell fills the air around it for a moment. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 3d8 necrotic damage. So
Okay.
it takes damage as well as it's a DC 17.
I was like, what is dolorous? What does that mean? It's just sad. It's a sad bell.
That's just a sad
It's a sad bell.
bell.
Yeah. It does so, and you can hear it echo, like I said, throughout this cavern, and behind you, towards this water that is in front of you, or you assume is in front of you. And these guys start swinging wildly. And as they do, they move forward a bit. And you can see Arrow, more of the shapes of these beings. They all seem to be the same size, medium height, but they are slashing out towards each other, especially towards the one that created this bell sound. And let me see what their base damage is real quick. After a few slices, you see at least 3 of them fall before they go dormant yet again. But Arrow, if you'd like to keep dropping stones, you could probably clear these guys out pretty easily.
Yeah, I figured that's the easiest and the least risk because they hopefully can't get to me. Yeah, I'll just keep dropping rocks down on them.
Yeah. The other two, the ones that are left, kind of cross at each other. These blades that they have are, you could see them in the light, are darken in tone, and they are chipped. They're wobbly in shape, but they were fine at one point. They seem to be very worn. But the other two fall to the ground, and there is the sound of the water yet again, and a pile of these cloaked bodies as you see before you. The pathway is clear.
Gonna take the time to just like peel back like a hood, see like just do these seem like normal people, or was there something else like noteworthy about them?
They seem normal to an extent. You as a healer have seen diseases before. Whatever this is, it might have been leprosy, it might have been something similar to that effect. They have, their eyes have kind of rotted out of their head. You can see that their heads are slightly caved in various places, as the bones seem to be brittle. If they were alive, which knowing Talona's followers, to some extent they might have been, they were very much diseased.
Okay, just gonna like as we move along, just silently offering up a prayer for these poor souls.
Sad. But you find yourselves at a kind of a four-way intersection. The sound of the running water is coming from south of you, and there is a path to the north and a path to the east. The path to the east, my beautifully drawn path, seems to be very crudely made.
I think you did a great job making it.
Thank you. But this is not made by dwarven hands. It seems somebody had come in here. It's quite old still, but it is again not dwarven hands. It seems to something else has come through to create a tunnel in this direction. But there's also a tunnel to the north that has a bit of silence to it, as there's a lot of running water behind you. And yeah, there is the stream to the south.
So they probably are doing something to the east if this is a passageway they have created.
If they went through the effort to make a passage there, then yeah, it seems like where they might be going.
Maybe we should see how far the one to the north goes first. Like maybe it's caved in a little ways ahead, but
yeah, I could also I could swim down the river a bit and see if maybe the water closes in on wherever they're at and can get an idea of what's up ahead.
we just circumvent the whole dungeon by water walking down the river.
That is an option. I assume this isn't the water they told us not to touch.
They told you not to touch the water. They were.
Well,
I mean, they said
Like
it was a
river
pool.
stick situation.
You did say that Arrow like reached out to get some of the water to rub the
already
thing out, and
touched it,
LB
nothing.
didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, nothing happened, so this water must be totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is an option, since I can breathe underwater.
At the risk of us splitting up too much, I mean, maybe Moxie and I hold up here, Talon checks north, Arrow checks south.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with north. Who's team north?
Me.
Strong side. All right. You guys start to make your way up through this channel. And as you do, does anybody, what languages do you speak? Or read, I guess.
Me?
Yes.
Abyssal, Celestial, Common, Deep Speech, Draconic, Elvish, Infernal, and Sylvan.
Dope. Okay.
Right.
You do see on these walls a bit of deep speech, actually. It is older and like written by someone who understands the language for the most part, like a second hand, like it's their second language sort of thing. You notice that there is a very small writing lower down on the wall, and it seems to be noting a bit of a history of like it's like a date and a time. The date is probably about 800 years ago, and it denotes some name that seems odd to you. It's not like infernal or anything like that. It's just a common deep speech name that states that this person came through and created this path to the south. The one that's going east. And they've kind of stamped a date on it as to when it was made and who it was made by. But as you kind of go up here a little bit more, you see the remnants of what looks to be some sort of resting camp. But as you get to the north, you see it is, again, caved in up here. And you notice that the bed frames that are up here are very, not very small. They are small.
Dwarf
Smaller.
sized?
No, smaller
Oh.
than that, actually.
Oh.
They seem to, whoever has created this, were probably not dwarven. Maybe, what'd you say?
Gnomes.
They could be gnomes. That's a very good assessment. But yes, this area seems to be caved in. Okay, who is, Arrow, you're going south?
Yes.
You come to, are you bringing a light source? I assume you're bringing a torch or something?
Probably not a torch, because of the water. But I'll just have one of our. Could I get one of our light friendos to cast light on like a coin or something for me? That I could, stick in my pocket to muffle, or could cover up if I needed to.
Okay. You intend to swim down this river?
Yeah, I was gonna swim. I was gonna check out across it to see
Sure.
if that went back any distance, and then probably swim down just a little bit of the river to see like if there's anything going on that way.
Yeah, as you enter this water, it feels a little weird. You do not immediately get transported back in time, but it does feel like whatever the source is close. And as you begin to kind of make your way, this water is fairly strong. You are a very strong swimmer, but you could feel the movement of the water and have been in enough streams before to realize that this water is very quickly approaching a waterfall. If you continue to go east with it. Across the way, there seems to be some more winding paths, about 10 feet across.
Okay, so more paths off to the south.
Mhm.
And then east goes towards a waterfall. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. If I go, how quickly, like, do I get the sense like within like 30 feet there's another waterfall, or is it going to be like, a
Closer than that.
down? Okay. Could I get up on the wall
Mhm.
and kind of climb to about where like the terminus of the waterfall is going to be.
Yeah.
To see like if I see anything out there, does this open up on some like big city underground or something
Oh,
like that?
yeah. It does not, but the waterfall does open up to a larger area, and you can kind of see that there is a um a little shrine of to be kind of not a shrine to be. It is just a shrine in the center of this. For being at the bottom of a waterfall, a very calm pool.
Gotcha.
And the shrine is glowing in some sort of magic. There is a little bit of water trickling down from the north on these paths that doesn't seem to be part of the main design of this place. It seems to be natural, as in like it is a natural flowing water, but it doesn't seem to have corroded the ground too much as like a running stream would. It's more like in a cave system, there is water that drips down and it flows, and that seems to be what's going on in here. Sorry, to the north. That blue line that you see, that's the water trickling in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I will head back to the others to report.
Okay. Those of you who are going east, is that Kalkis and Moxie?
I mean, we were gonna wait for the others to
Okay.
regroup, but yeah.
Okay.
You were. I mean, Talon found that, had it back.
Mm-hmm.
Tells them what she found. She probably gets back before Arrow does, swimming against the current.
Mm-hmm.
Tells them she found tiny beds and read some deep speech.
Were we able to cross that river at all, or is that what we're waiting to do?
Arrow could cross it. It was quite difficult. For
And nothing
I mean,
mattered.
it's a flowing river that is going from a waterfall to a waterfall, so it is quite quick. So you could cross it. It would take
river?
a randomly calm pool of water that has some sort of magical aura to it.
Oh, but past, like, if we were to go straight south, like.
It is another path.
Okay, and Arrow didn't look down there.
Not
I would
far.
not go that far. No.
Okay. That's right.
Because it looked like there were more passages down that way, and I didn't want to get too far ahead.
Yeah.
If we didn't want to check that out.
I mean, probably go through the eastern passage rather than trying to figure out how we're all going to get across the water.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys start going down this tunnel, which
I could
has
use rope trick and we could swing. Sorry.
Sure could, buddy. One day you'll get to use it. One day.
We used it at the avalanche.
We used it one time, and it
That's-
was pretty
that's-
useless at the avalanche.
It.
but
I don't
I
think
just
so.
wanted
I
to
think
use
it did
it
great.
one time. It looks
You
cool.
you go down a very steep incline here as you are. That waterfall arrow was about 15 feet, and as you make your way over here, you see this pool. And then off to the north is another passageway that has stairs that seem to be, like I said, have this water path coming down it. But the pool is to the south, and it seems to be heckin' glowing. And unoccupied, oddly enough.
I'm gonna take a wild guess that this is the pool that we're not supposed to touch.
That feels right.
The water in the river felt weird, so
Yeah, I don't want to touch any of this water.
Seems
I
odd
don't-
that they wouldn't have anyone here, but I guess, we just went through. There are several corpses behind us.
But what if I just dab some on, like, my skin? Would it made that part of my skin go back in time? That'd be cool.
It's the reverse of the Death Stranding rain that ages you.
Yeah.
So this trickle of water is coming down into this.
Mhm.
Okay. Could we go up these stairs without touching the water?
No. Yes, you could. It's all kind of wet like a cave. But the little pool, like stream of water, you could avoid. But this seems to be a very, forgive me for using the word, moist section of the cave.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that we can't see over in like
down
this
to the
area?
right.
Yeah.
As you get closer, I can reveal it, yeah, for sure.
I just want to know if this is just like this cavern doesn't go anywhere else. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have something else.
Pay no attention to the slight thing that I revealed down here. That means nothing.
Mhm.
All right.
Which, by the way, I watched Wizard of Oz, I think for the first time this week.
Really?
First time in my life this week. Well, I think if I've seen it, I saw it when I was a kid. But it's in the zeitgeist, so I know of it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a lot of it, so
That's
I must
fair.
not
I don't
have
think
seen
I've
it.
watched it for like 20 years. So
yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I think
I
I've
love
only
Judy
done
I
the
really
Pink
liked
Floyd
it. I very
thing.
much
Love
enjoyed
Judy
it.
Garland.
Mm-hmm. She's so cute.
I know.
all right, should we head up the stairs, see what's up there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I
I'm a
know
little
place to
concerned.
go.
Like, are they feeding something into this? Again,
Mhm.
I'm going real conspiracy theory on all this.
That's what I was thinking too. Like,
Are they trying to change fate by introducing a different type of water into this that is coming from some sort of evil demiplane?
Era,
let's go find out.
why don't you make me a wisdom save, please?
A wisdom save. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All your sticks talking to you, maybe.
Oh, Zero hearing whispers.
Oh, I get a D4, right? Is it on saving throws? Is blessed on
Hashtag
saving
blessed.
throws?
I think it's
and
only
mean,
on saving throws.
if you,
Or
well,
saving throws and attacks, right? I don't
yeah.
remember.
I can never remember if it's only two of the three.
It's literally just bless.
Mm-hmm.
It says a
Mhm.
I have
tackle
it.
or
I
a
was
saving
to
throw.
say it.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
mean, this will be up to LB to adjudicate, but depending on how close you are to me when this happens, you would also get a +5 from my aura.
Ooh.
Do I get the +5 from the aura?
How close are you to Colchis?
I mean, we were going to get like I know
Yeah.
the tokens have kind of
So-
gone all over the place, but
Yeah, we're
So,
all
yeah.
moving it as a unit, I think, here at this point.
well, I'll add my hashtag bless. That makes it 16, so the +5 is 21.
Okay. Arrow, you feel the staff on your back almost pulling you backwards towards the pool. And you see yourself beginning to walk towards this pool. And as you find yourself with your hands placed on the ground on either side of it, you look into the pool and begin to see things in the water. As this happens, you kind of are pulled back and forth. You see the visions that you saw of the future, and you see some visions of the past. And as you are fighting against this, you see your hand reaching out into the water, and as your fingers touch it, you see the water run up your arm, and you can feel yourself being pulled in. And as that happens, you kind of snap back, and you find yourself standing exactly where you were before, as this vision of the future has kind of pulled with this vision of the past, giving you an insight into is if you touch the water, bad things happen no matter what, don't touch the water, but also you can see the past in here if you want to.
Or it's a trick, and they're trying to keep me from touching the water by.
How much do you like Savantis?
Hera is like just braces on the side of the cave for a second, like, oh god, my brain. I can't
You
hold on to the
okay?
staff for much longer. Yeah, just weird things. Like, oh no, microphones don't exist. Just two things, like weird feedback. So.
Mm-hmm. But if you guys, you can see that this ends. The end of the cave. This area kind of closes off as the water continues on. The properties of the pool might continue on, as this is probably the source of where it is. But if you have any questions or want to see the past in any way, this is where you're going to be doing it, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything we need to know right now before we, throw ourselves in the thick of it?
I mean, there was the point made that we could use this to get some knowledge, but I also feel like we've heard enough warnings of like, hey, don't mess with this water.
Yeah, there's gotta be a
Don't
price
touch
to
the
pay.
water.
Yeah.
Do not
Yeah.
touch the water. That was the
seems
clear statement.
It seems like we could look into the water and get some answers as long as we don't touch it.
Because Talon's dad did say that he'd been here many times
Mhm.
to look into the waters.
Okay. Well, yeah, hell, let's look down there then.
I mean, I'm willing to look into the water.
I
Yeah.
really want to look now. I totally changed my
willing
mind.
to look into
Focus
the
will just
water.
like hand on your collars, like holding you in place.
Big
Okay.
friend holds smaller friends. Make
Yeah.
sure we don't fall face first into the water.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm willing to back up down these stairs and go take a peek with Moxie.
Okay.
Despite all
Talon,
of my better judgment.
what do you want to see in this pond? What do you want to look at?
Talon's gonna set aside the selfish things she wants to see, and she's going to focus on how do I frame this? She wants to see the moment that like they missed between Nazira, Timora, and Bashaba, where things went awry.
Yeah. Okay. You peer into the pool, and as you do, you begin to I'm gonna describe this as a pensieve. So you feel your consciousness being pulled, so that you are standing in a darkened area. It seems to be a cave of sorts, as Nazira has kind of made camp. She's off on her own, as she likes to do. She's sharpening her blade. She is cooking a rabbit over the fire that she's made. And she kind of takes the coin in her hand that her goddesses gave her, and you see her sort of flip it into the air, catch it, and as she does, a whip appears in her hand, and she starts to kind of move it around, getting a feel of it, and moving it to whip it. The crack echoes through the cave.
Sorry, I'm imagining a ribbon dancer.
With this
Ribbon
beautiful whip.
dancer lying on the wall. Sorry.
And you see for a moment a struggle as she kind of like drops the whip and places her hand on her head. And as she does, she puts her elbows on her knees and she starts to shake her head. And you can't hear the voices in her head, but you can see these sort of forms that are going on either shoulder. And as that is happening, your vision shifts away from Nazira and towards an indescribable place as you see both Bashaba and Timora in their full godlyhood. 10 feet tall, gorgeous Timora with her blonde long hair, and Bashaba with her her white hair and her red eyes. And you see them sort of struggling to stay a distance from each other. And as they are struggling to do so, you can see they kind of reach out to like push the other away. And as they do, their hands collapse into each other and their forms shift and start to adhere at the wrist. And as they do, the hand sort of it disintegrates away as their wrists are together, and it is just their forearms together, and you can see them trying to pull themselves away from this. And this struggle has begun. Time is moving forward, and you can see that they are attempting to pull each other apart, and it seems to be, you get the feeling that this is still happening, but their forms are very close together, where they are shoulder to shoulder. their torsos are very connected at the bottom. They have 3 legs, and these forms are still attempting to pull each other apart. And you can see in the center where they will form together as one. Nazira, again, in this cave, no, not in the cave, because this is more recent. She is reaching out towards Shamba and is using this crystal to try and capture him. This struggle that is going on internally with these gods seems to be happening behind the scenes still with Nazira, and she has this happening with the things that she is currently doing. The voices that are trying to talk to her in her head have a clear center, but are pulling apart still. And you can see that this binding is happening faster and faster as time is going on, where the gods still have this physical struggle. Their minds seem to be one and are pushing towards this goal that they have. So in conclusion, they didn't want this. They are merging back through this process, and Nazira is caught as the focal point of it and the focus of the movement forward for them.
So
Does that make sense?
Yes. So from my perspective of it, did it seem accidental, or did it seem like there was something else, like some other entity in the background, like pulling the strings?
Good question. Your vision shifts as there is a conversation, and this is further in the past. There is a conversation that is happening, and you can only see Timora standing there in her full godliness. She is in her own realm. There is beautiful golden architecture around her, and she seems to be having a conversation with someone. Her voice is very clear as she is speaking. The voice that is coming back is almost like Charlie Brown parents, as wah 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 wah, and you cannot see the form that is talking to her. And she's just kind of nodding her head, and she says, "That has been quite some time. Perhaps we should let bygones be bygones. We were once one, and that was not that long ago. Maybe it is time that I reach out to my sister." And that seems to be a pivotal moment in this conversation.
I try to focus on the wah 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 person.
Yeah, as you
While
try to
I'm
focus.
stuck in this like pool of like memory. I'm just trying to focus on this, whatever it
Yeah.
is that's pushing her in a direction.
Mm-hmm. You
Please don't notice
shift
me.
your vision to this thing, and as you look into it, you are in this sort of pensive moment where you are trying to bring the focus and turn your head, and everyone else who is watching this happen, she's very firmly has her hands on the edge so she does not fall in. Kulkus is holding her back, but you can see the water in front of her is starting to turn black as she is attempting to envision whatever being is doing this. And you cannot focus on it. As much as you are pushing your will, as strong as you are in this, whatever this being is strong enough to manipulate this and the past.
I really want to force it, but I'll back off. I'll back off.
Okay. The water begins to clear, almost like a little koi fish, and it kind of moves down and dissipates as you pull yourself out of this focus.
Next.
Moxie, what do you want to see in the water?
Well, I didn't know I had to pick a thing, so I'm not as I don't know.
I mean, if you want to just see something, I could just describe something to you.
I pass. I hold my turn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does
think for
anyone
a
else
second.
want to look in the water?
Equally importantly, Arrow is like leaning over and looking in the water, thinking about a time back when they were staging at a bistro in Baldur's Gate, and somebody complained that they oversalted their risotto and wants to see if they actually did. Because it's been bothering them for a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a chef's roll.
Okay. I roll my cook's utensils. I actually
Yes,
have
please.
that on here as a wisdom stat, if that
Yeah.
works for you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Cool. That's a 24.
Okay, this is not including Calcus's thing.
No.
Okay,
I rolled
got
a 15 plus 9.
That risotto is perfect when you put it out.
I knew it.
They're fucking complaining about nothing.
You look back and you see them
Son of a
adding
bitch!
salt from the table into it, like just to have
Yes.
something to complain about. Like,
Or, no, it's one of those people who, like, before they even taste the food, just
Mhm.
dump salt
They
on
added
it.
salt on it. I knew it. It
Yeah.
was
you're not
perfect
supposed
the
to
way
do
it
that
was.
at nice
You're not
restaurants. You
supposed
shouldn't have to.
Yeah. Yes.
Arrow just feels this sense of like calm and certainty of some, like the most important thing in their life has now been like righted, and
Yes.
Arrow gains a
Yeah.
level from
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
revelation.
Arrow, you gain an inspiration from that.
Oh my god,
Ooh,
thank
perfect.
you.
Okay, I have a thing I want to look at now.
Okay.
Moxie wants to see what happened with Morty right after she left this time, like a day ago or whatever it was.
Okay. You want to look in and see what happened with Morty? Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Where is the circus right now? Have they moved?
Was-
Because they were outside of Waterdeep, and I'm sure they left real fast.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the map, but I imagine they kind of went north of Waterdeep.
Okay. They probably went up to Port Pondon to do their little stint there, and then they went up to well, no, not Baldur's Gate. What's up there? Fuck.
I don't know. I can't think
What
of
is
it.
the
Neverwinter, I think. is
Neverwinter.
the-
That's it. They went up to, they're parked outside of Neverwinter, and you can see, as you are pulled into this, you're kind of standing on the grass. You can see the beautiful cascading city of Neverwinter in front of you. The troubles of the South don't seem to have hit here as much. You see Morty stand up from having hit a piton into the ground, and he kind of wipes his brow and his gloved hands, and he looks up at the city. And there's a bit of commotion as there is some arguing that's happening within the tent itself. These are people that you work with, that work for you, I guess. And you can see that one of the trapeze artists is having this intense discussion with one of the jugglers, and they're talking about how I can't believe that I was cheated out of this money. They were gambling the night before, and they lost to this person. They were obviously cheating. There's no justice in this world, and I want to see them again so I can give them a piece of my mind. And you see one of the patrons kind of walks by them, and they say, "Oh, there is no justice in this world." You can see that they have a golden pin on their chest, and they say, "Really, if you want anything in this world, you gotta ask. You gotta have good luck, right? Because the gods aren't gonna help you with, your little revenge of this guy. If you want to be good at gambling, if you want to get your money back, you gotta have the luck on your side." So, and she kind of like hands him a pin that is this golden symbol, and they're like, "Look, I don't know if you're a holy person or whatever, but I mean, goddess of luck, she's pretty cool. I've gotten everything that I wanted so far, and with the world the way it is, it's kind of the person you gotta talk to these days. She's offering stuff left and right." And this trapeze artist is like, "Yeah, I think thank you. This will be my good luck token." And he kind of like puts it on his little chest. And you see Morty kind of shakes his head and just goes back to like pounding in the pitten.
Moxie just kind of turns around and like, got us a Lux recruiting. Next.
All right, who is next?
Morty looked hot
he
though,
looking?
right?
He for sure, like the sweat,
Okay.
like his hair's like a little disheveled. Or he's bald, isn't he? His hat's a little disheveled.
Yeah.
I think Colchis may just take a short glance just to see how his family's doing, but isn't gonna linger too long.
Yeah. You look into the pool and you find yourself outside of your home. You see Sugar is running through your yard, chasing one of your chickens around. And she like taps it with her little hand, and then like puts her hands up in the air and runs away. And you can see the chicken like starts chasing her. And your wife is kind of standing in the background with her arms crossed, and she shakes her head. And in the distance, you can see that they are rebuilding the distillery that was destroyed before. It seems that the town is pulling together for this, and it's a nice little moment. The sky is this was this morning probably. The sky is gray, as there is no morning, there's no dawn anymore. But it's a nice moment.
Yep. Reassured, Colchis offers up a quick thanks to Lyra for watching over them. And then turning to the rest, are we ready to proceed?
Yeah, Talon will tell them what she saw in the water.
So it does seem like there's maybe someone else involved in this that,
Someone put the wheels in motion,
yeah.
and they're powerful enough that I couldn't see who it was, despite really trying.
We haven't talked to Pop Pop once in the game. He's not
You
being a
killed
dickhead
Pop
or
Pop.
anything, right?
Pop
Oh,
Pop's
I
dead.
mean like real Pop Pop.
Oh,
Like,
Asmodeus?
yeah.
No, you haven't.
I'm scared too. Okay. I'm just saying.
If your patron ends up being the person behind all this again,
That's kind of what I'm worried
I
about.
would never.
It might
like,
be if Moxie in game is like a little paranoid, it might be a really funny time to check in.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I'm just saying.
that's
'Cause I
always my wish.
swear.
Is to
Before we
prove-
continue up this path, see where
Mhm.
this water's coming from. If you want to do it, girl, now's the time.
I think I do.
You want to
Okay.
just be like, guys, I think I need to. I need to check in with my god.
We're gonna have to have an intervention about your trust and parental figures.
I know.
To be fair, it's a pretty founded, you know? It's pretty founded.
This paranoia for Moxie
Suck it,
is
guys.
Oh no,
is
it's
real.
totally justified because
Totally
everyone is
justified.
worried about it. Because
Totally
I think
agree.
we've been worried about it since session 1 of this campaign.
That's why I need my moment of glory.
Yeah. Okay. You are checking in on your actual grandfather. You have been here before. You have been to his throne room. You attempted to contact him. He was very confused and you brought him a little bit of joy for the first time in his life, where he's very amused by your attempt to contact him and be like, hey, you're my grandpa, actually, and this whole bullshit's going on, so if you could. And he was like, okay, you know what, I like your moxie, and he he granted you a little bit of power. So you see this grand throne room where Asmodeus sits on this great throne. He has a hellhound at his feet as he is kind of sitting, messing with his nails. A devil comes in, and he stands, and you can see him walk out of this throne room into a large chamber that has a grand map upon it. This is multi-layered and a confusing for you to look at. It is nigh on impossible for you to understand, and you can see different legions placed on this map, as there are devils and demons and battles that are happening. You know that Asmodeus is part of this long battle between devils and demons. The battle very rarely moves in one direction or the other, and he seems to be focused on that in this time. That is his main focus right now, as he is very important and powerful in the house.
Well, then I can leave him alone. Like, am I gonna? Yeah, that's good. We're cool. He busy.
He is the chief of the Lords of the Nine, and he even said to you when you were down there, like, I don't care about the mortal plane. Like, this, it's not my thing. So it seems to be that is actually true, and the thing that he cares about most is what you're viewing is this great war that is happening.
Is it possible, other than like a vision, to send him a message somehow? Like I would email somebody so they can look at it when they want to. Is there a version of that?
No, but you guys can talk to your gods, and like, we've established that is a thing.
All I want to say is to Asmodeus is like, hey, I know you're busy. If you want to have some fun at some point, I just need to prove to my friends that you're actually real. And it'd be funny to fuck with them. Good luck. Kill the demons. Bye.
I like the implication is that we don't think Asmodeus is real. it's like, no, we know he's real. It's just we're not sure whether or not he is.
Whether this is actually better than your prior situation.
Yeah.
I mean, fair. It has been established that Asmodeus is definitely your patron, because of your lute and your axe and your symbol. Yeah. But I will note that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, not Asmodeus.
You feel better?
Yes, I feel better.
All right.
You're muted, Tanya. I don't know if that was for us.
If I was being honest, I'm glad we checked. So thank you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, fair, honestly.
I feel like I would have dropped a few more hints if that was the case.
Yeah, like, the last thing you want to do is get to the end of this and be like,
it was
again?
masked the whole time.
Yeah. I didn't catch him last time, so.
Oh, that's fair.
None of us did. None of us did.
That's fair.
So, yeah. Whoever this is and whoever's behind this is probably going to rear their head once we fuck it up.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm just, what is the motivation? Like, how would this person benefit from Tai Chi rising again?
They somehow have sway over Tai Chi or the domains, some other claim to the domains of fortune.
Or they just really hate all the gods that are being kept up.
I forgot you were here.
Oh, sorry. Hi. Look, the gods act in mysterious ways. It could be as simple as they really don't like, I don't know, as Oseron or something. I don't think that's the case, but gods are fickle creatures.
They're limiting their competition if there's less gods to contend with. Didn't we also learn the reason why all of that happened in the first place with Timora and Bashava is there was somebody else involved that was connected with
Lathander.
Tai Chi. Was it Lathander?
Lathander split them.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the reason for that?
A bad breakup.
between Lathander and Tai Chi. Right?
That
I
it
knew
there was
there
never
was a romance
it was never
involved.
explicitly spelled out, but they were
as-
rumored to have been a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then they weren't a thing, and then this thing happened. So
Lathander's
people
been
were-
sealed though.
yes,
Okay, if we're looking at this from like the mortal perspective of like two people date, bad breakup, literal breakup. There's somebody else behind the scenes that was invested in that in some way, or had a thing for Tai Chi.
the love
and got-
triangle.
Yeah, had had a thing for her, and then she got split. She got split in two, and
Or it's the wanted Lathander, couldn't have him, no one gets to have him, and is setting Tai Chi on this rampage and, hiding the true victim among multiple.
yeah.
And again, it could have been any of the gods that were gone after. They could have a thing against Azuth or Asuran, or even Helm. If you put the pieces in motion. Okay, I'm just saying, if you're don't do this, obviously. But if you're gonna try and kill somebody and you want to make it look like a serial killer, don't go after them first.
No,
Put them in the line. Put them in the middle there. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I listen
that's
to
like
a lot.
couple Criminal
I see a
Minds
lot of Criminal
episodes.
Minds
I
episodes.
get it.
It was also the plot of the first Jack Reacher
I've
movie.
seen that.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Which was, I think, the 5th book.
Yeah.
And it did not take place in Pittsburgh. Gonna go off on that. That was... The show's much better than those movies were.
Yeah.
I love the show. That actor.
Mm-hmm. So much better than Tom Cruise.
Anyways,
Anyway,
we're about to end, so if you guys, we're gonna end it here. But if you guys want to, if you think of anything over the next week, that you guys want to look at, this seems to be a very powerful source of knowledge, except for one specific thing. You can definitely try to get visions of that next episode. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching us. Let's go around and have everybody say who you are, where people can find you, and what you do. I'm gonna get us back to the game overlay. So Tanya, take us away.
Hello, I'm Tanya. So my lip sync battle is September 21st. If you live in Kalamazoo, it's 3 improv groups against each other, but my group is just me and my one friend, and it's gonna be stupid. So if you live around here, come see that, and that's all I got. Good night. And 4 other shows, but I don't remember the dates on those. So next time, bye.
I'm Val again. Mostly find me over on GGK game nights. I have a game tomorrow, hopefully, knock on wood, running the Dragon Age TTRPG. It's called Red Jenny, and play that at 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. So come join us for that.
I'm next. Hi, I'm Rachel. Rachel Elizabeth. Rachel is with the email at 7S. I am here Sundays, and I will be, barring any unforeseen circumstances or illnesses, on GGK on Tuesday night, playing some more high-level D&D. And that's it.
And then I'm still Alex. Haven't changed in the last 3 hours. OMG at Some Guy here on Sundays.
And I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. The Twitters and the Instagrams. The Twitch is Hack Recklessly. Hi, you found us. If you found us on YouTube, leave a like, a comment. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a comment about what you would like to see in the past. If you could look at any time, I would want to. Part of me wants to see Shakespeare's writing process, but also I want to see. Shakespeare dance. Heck it. Let's go. Let's get crazy with it. The next time this channel is going to be live is on Thursday. They're playing some more fun games, party games. Ren and I will be live on Friday. I think we're doing the new Layers of Fear game. One of us is going to run through that. I'm quite excited. And then we'll be back on Sunday, barring everything. Do you guys want to do Stars and Wishes tonight? You could just do wishes if you like.
I'm down to do Stars and Wishes.
Sure.
I can
Okay.
go first.
Go ahead.
I'm proud of Tanya for finally looking to see if Asmodeus was the big bad this time around. I know she's been
Bah.
paranoid about it from the beginning. For good reason. Oh, it's just that little sliver. And now we know he's not up to no good on this plane.
Thanks, Rachel.
And that's what matters. And I'm proud of you for looking. And my wish is that we remember to have Alhena look in the pool next time. So Van gets a turn for funsies before we head up this creepy staircase. That's my wish. Is that my ADHD brain remembers to have somebody do that for fun.
All right. Who's next?
I'll do mine. My star is going to go to Kulkus for chiming in during the very intense scene, which took me a minute to remember that we started the session with parent drama, because it felt like forever ago. But chiming in for Talon, and that was really good. I was sitting there just thinking of something very sarcastic to say, and that was probably just going to make the situation worse. So it's better somebody else said something. So yeah, that's my star. And then my wish. Boy, I don't know what my wish is.
Anything you want to see in this dungeon?
I mean, I want something. Yeah, I would love for something true, because we're going into the realm of like I mean, we just came from Talona's shit, and we've seen a lot of fucked up shit there, and now we're seeing the followers of Timora, Bashava, and Talona all kind of like intermingled here, and so I want the weird amalgamation of what their fused Digimon looks like, like between like whatever the like followers of Talona, some sort of luck based, disease based entity. I'm really interested to see what that fight's gonna look like. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's me.
I'll go. This is weird, okay? My star goes to Alex's beard because I just think it looks really good today.
Thank you.
And my wish, I don't really have a wish. I just want to see how I want some like really funny bad luck, some more funny bad luck shit to happen. I like that. That's all I got.
For me, my star is going to go to Arrow for the use of the memory pool of just like gotta check in on that one that one customer. Because I certainly get that. I understand that feeling. And then wish for more 1973 jump scares.
Noted. Sometimes I even forget he's there.
If we don't put him on the map, we're gonna forget about him.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
My star is gonna go to Rachel for looking in on the what actually is happening or what happened. That's what I wanted you guys to use it for, and I'm glad that you did. My wish is I'm excited for you guys to have a week to think about things that you want to see, because you're on a time crunch, but not that much of a time crunch. You can spend 20 minutes looking in this pool to like, you know, like I thought Talon might look to go see what her mom was like when she was alive and stuff like that. I know you wanted to.
So bad, but I was like,
you can.
There's
no time limit on it.
Well, I was gonna say I didn't know if we had like limited uses of the pool, and I wanted to at least for my first use of said pool be like, okay, I'm gonna find out some real information. But now it's just like that, like, does she want to be like really stubborn and just like keep trying to look at this thing, whatever it is, and just like really buckle down and like
I mean, I did have an idea, which I imagine would result much the way yours did, of like, we're not looking at the thing, but we are like looking back in time to follow this thing.
We're looking at context clues.
Yeah,
we're looking at context clues for this thing. Yeah, that was my thought as well.
Fair.
So,
and I'm excited for you guys to to get to the end of this, because we are in the final dungeon, as it were. Well, I mean, this is the final dungeon. Whether it's the final battle or not, we will see. But yeah, I'm excited to get into more creepy and weird beings and things that these fucking bad luck things. I'm
what
excited.
was the movie?
Oh, it's Silent Hill.
Okay,
The nurses.
that's what we
got
thought.
it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yes,
That was everybody's second guess.
Yeah, I was like, how can I want something that's not like sentient almost, that you guys have to fight. That's just, I was kind of hoping you guys would try and sneak through them, because you could if you rolled well enough, but you're in a layer of bad luck. Who knows what's gonna happen? And it's only gonna get worse from here, guys. Yeah, that's one of them. That was one of the things. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching our wonderful stream, and we'll be back on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday next week. I guess I will be hack 'em up, hack recklessly. Bye.